What's up, y'all? One Piece One Life here, and guys, have you ever stopped and thought, what is the best epithet in One Piece? Because I was looking over a list of mine of all of the epithets that I created for people in my story. Go read up on it, link in the bio. When I suddenly thought, Oda has some banger epithets when he wants to. Don't get me wrong, some of them are completely random and in my opinion just flat out should never have existed. Looking specifically at you, cotton candy lover Tony Chopper. But overall, I think Oda has this nickname game in the bag. And that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to be explaining what I believe are the top 20 best One Piece epithets. But before we get into it, y'all, please, y'all know the drill by now. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this. Please guys, let this be the week that we go over 100. I am begging. And share it around with all your friends who love the series. Let's get it going already. Come on. Now there are two ground rules that I want to go over first in the way that we're going to talk about this. The first rule is just explaining the difference between an epithet and a nickname or a title and what we're going to be counting in this video. See, an epithet is going to be the specific nickname that Oda gave them, not necessarily during their introduction, but by and large, the epithet that person is known by, recognized by, that's what they go by, or at least has gone by at some point in their life. Whereas a title is something that is more achievement based, something that, you can say that this person has done this, like an achievement. Now, two characters to perfectly illustrate this difference are Kaido and Whitebeard. Spoiler alert, only one of those two people make it onto the list. See, for example, Kaido's title is, he is hailed as the world's strongest creature, the world's strongest beast. But when people think of him and when people say, what is Kaido's epithet is Kaido, King of the Beasts, or 100 Beast Kaido. Similarly for Whitebeard, or I guess rather Edward Newgate, which is his real name, Whitebeard is the epithet. That's just something describing him that makes it very clear that that's Whitebeard. But his title, of which he has many, such as the strongest man in the world, or the man closest to the One Piece. You get the difference? Alright, cool. The second ground rule that I want to lay out is just how I'm going to be quantifying best. A lot goes into crafting a name like this, but to me, at the end of the day, it comes down to a few major things. First, does it sound cool? Does it sound like something that, a really cool character would have? Two, going along with one, is this something that I would want to be named by? Or something that, if I put my name there, it's equally as cool or even better? And three, how well does it tie into what the person is known for without making it a straight up achievement? That's my only requirements for real. Oh, and a small third rule that I'm just adding on, just thinking about it now. We're not going to be adding the Admiral code names because I don't think that's an epithet. That's a code name. It's different. But starting us off at number 20, let's head over to the Whitebeard Pirates. See, when you go to the Whitebeard Pirates, of which there are many of them, a lot of people will immediately think of, maybe it's Fire Fist Ace or Flower Sword Vista. And you just know that it's not Newgate's because Whitebeard, just describing the fact that he has a white beard of which he doesn't even have a beard, yeah, that's just abysmal. But no, I would say that number 20 is going to Melstrom Spider, the epithet of Squard. Firstly, I just love the fact that I get to mention Squard in a video because when will you ever mention Squard in a video? Melstrom Spider, it's like, it's cool, it's edgy. But the reason that I think it's number 20 and not any higher is indeed because of that cool. And by that I mean that I think that Maelstrom Spider, Oda was trying just a tad, just a smidge too hard to make it too cool. Like Maelstrom Spider is just kind of a mouthful. Maelstrom something else, I don't know what it could have been, but I think like that would have gone much better. But I also do love the use of Maelstrom just because no one uses that word anymore and it's so cool. Bumping up to number 19, we got the Star Clown / the Genius Jester, owned by Buggy. Full disclosure, for the majority of the series, Buggy's epithet was horrible. Buggy the Clown, but something about putting Star right before that clown, I don't know what it is, but it just lends itself to an amazing name in my opinion. To be fair, I think that clown is one of those words where putting something right before it immediately makes it cooler than just having a base clown. Like imagine if Buggy was the chaos clown. For genius jester, I like this less because, it's a bit of translation errors, but since it's the translation error of the same epithet, we're counting it. Even within genius jester, there's that auditorial alliteration, even though it's not actually alliteration, so I appreciate that. At number 18, we got Mad Monk Rouge. A lot of it is the alliteration of the M's because, Mad Monk, it flows really well. But then you add in the intrigue, because what is your backstory for people to know you as the Mad Monk? Tying that into the fact that we already don't know that much about a Rouge, it just makes it so much more interesting. And I really do hope that we find out something about a Rouge soon, because Oda, you don't got much time left. Now coming in at number 17 is going to be the Dark King, which is owned by Rayleigh. Again, we have to make a distinction here because a lot of people say,
well, what about his, the fact that he's the right hand of the Pirate King, or the Pirate King's first mate?
Again, that's a title. And even if that was his epithet, that would be a horrible epithet, because I personally believe that epithets that are just your job description are horrible, which is why useless Captain Mid is horrible. But yeah, Dark King, I don't know, I'm really partial to the ones that have kings in them. I don't know why. I will say that I didn't include anything with God in it just because I feel like God was a bit too presumptuous to call somebody. I don't know, call it my Christianity, but I don't know, being called a god versus being called a king, like I know that God is supposed to be higher, but to me king just carries more weight. And then there's the speculation of where the dark part of the name came from. Like, does it have something to do with Haki mastery? With him being the one who taught Luffy Haki, it could make sense. I could see it. Now 16 is actually going to go to one of the very few rare marine epithets, and here I'm going to give it to White Chase / White Hunter Smoker. I don't know what it is, it's just, it's intriguing, but it's simplistic. The white chase, because the white of his devil fruit, and he's gonna keep chasing you. That's how, it almost personifies him. Like the epithet is telling the character of Smoker that he's gonna keep hunting you down, keep chasing you down, keep hunting pirates. That's his job, and he's dedicated to his job. And leading really well into that is number 15, Black Cage, owned by Hina. Very similar to Smoker, and you know what? I honestly think that Oda may have made that intentional. Because for those of you who don't know, Oda may be setting up a seemingly relationship-esque vibe between Hina and Smoker. At least that's the vibe I always got from that one cover story where they were arguing like a married couple on vacation. I mean, I went ahead and even married them in my sequel story. And who knows, maybe even, in the future of the Marines, when their kid is an admiral, or at least maybe not even an admiral, but just an officer, he'll be known as the Gray Jailer or something cool like that. Something that combines the white and the black into gray. At 14, I'm going to give it to 1,000 Armed Cracker. Something about just the imagery of having 1,000 arms just raises your intrigue in my eyes. I don't want to let my Naruto bias influence it, since 1,000 arms is what the Senju from the Senju clan mean. But anytime you think of anything with multiple hands like that, it's so amazing. Hashirama's 1,000 veritable armed cannon, Netero's technique from Hunter x Hunter. There's even a move like that in the soccer anime, Inazuma 11. I don't know, maybe I've just always been partial to abilities that grant you multiple appendages, I don't know. But what I do know is that coming in 13 is going to be one that I think people would have put a lot higher, and that's Hawkeye's Mihawk. Don't get me wrong, I really do like Hawkeye's, hence it being 13. The metaphor of comparing Mihawk's eyes to that of a hawk because of, how sharp his vision is, even leading him to be thought of as one of the forefront users of observation haki. I just think that 13 is an appropriate place for it. Not because it's bad, but because there's a lot of things that's better in my opinion. Like our number 12 spot, going to Roar of the Sea, Scratchman Apu. Now Apu, the character, what he is literally in his name. But Apu, as far as his epithet goes, entirely different story. I will also say that I really like the of the sea kind of epithets, where there's something of the sea or the sea something, just because this is a pirate world. This is a world covered in water. So a world that is like mostly ocean, being something of the sea, and that's what you're known as, means that you're able to dominate in whatever that is. So even if it's Apu being the loudest person on the sea, he's gonna make his presence known. hence he's the Roar. Number 11 is going to the Ruler of Shadows. For those of you who don't know, this is owned by Gecko Moria. If it was up to me, which I guess it is, I would put it in number 10. But the reason I'm letting it miss out is because I'm slightly having to break the rules for it to be here. Because see, Ruler of Shadows is not Moria's direct epithet. I don't even think Moria has a direct epithet. But Ruler of Shadows is rather what a person who has eaten the Kage Kage no Mi is known by. The same way that somebody who's eaten the Gomu Gomu no Mi is known as a rubber human. Now, there have already been theories about why it's Ruler of Shadows and not Shadow Human. We don't have to get into that here. But the Ruler of Shadows, just tell me that doesn't scream amazing to you. Like I said, if I didn't have the rule of it having to be an exact strong epithet of what people know them by, would have been much higher. But this is about as high as I can go when I'm already breaking the rules for you, pal. But now this means that we are getting to the top 10, and starting us off is gonna be, I think, controversial. But in number 10, I've got the Silver Fox, owned by everyone's favorite split-headed person, Foxy. And this is what I mean when I say you have to draw a distinction between somebody's epithet versus their character. Because I think we can all agree, Foxy is one of the worst things to ever come out of One Piece. But if you take that away and just have the Silver Fox, the Silver Fox is hard. It rolls off the tongue. It creates like the Silver Fox. Foxes are sly, known to be, very sly and very cunning. And then you just drop in that hint of silver. Like, silver is a much better color than if it would have been like Foxy, the, I don't know, Black Fox or Red Fox. But I guess Red Fox, Oda could have done Red Fox as a parody of Red Sox because he's Oda, I don't know. But still, Silver Fox, you got it. Not the person that owns you, but you as a name. Now going from a character that's hated to a character that's loved, we got number 9 is Jinbe's epithet, the Knight of the Sea. Remember when I said that I like of the sea? This exemplifies it. Because there is Neptune, who's the king of the Ryugu kingdom, and his epithet is God of the Sea, but I already mentioned earlier why I don't like the god titles. But Knight of the Sea, that really personifies Jinbe. Because again, the world is vast, and Jinbe is being known as a chivalrous knight. Like, think of the connotations of a knight when you hear it. Brave, chivalrous, duty-bound, honor-bound, and Jinbe is really all those things. At number 8, I have to give it to another warlord of the sea, and it's gonna be Boa Hancock's, which is obviously the Pirate Empress. I think some common themes can be seen here of the kind of things I look for in an epithet. It's usually going to be really good for me if it has something to do with the sea, something to do with being some sort of sovereign, and something to do with pirates. Hint for what's at the top of the list. So imagine being known as the Pirate Empress. Of all of the pirates that there are in the world, you are the female monarch of them, which again exemplifies Boa perfectly, because it's literally elevating her to the position of, already there aren't that many female pirates. So for you to stand on top of them, even when people like Big Mom exist, that's amazing. At number 7, we're gonna give it to Soul King Brook. You guys, I don't think you understand the shiver that ran down my spine when they started calling Brook the Soul King after the 2-year time skip. First of all, I like the fact that it was just his stage name as a rock star, which became his epithet when he returned to piracy. And then just the fact that it alludes to how, he was building up on his own soul abilities over the time skip, and now all the crazy things he can do with the soul. And then Oda even gave us the Soul King versus the Soul Queen when Brook was fighting Big Mom. Yeah, Soul King got it. At number 6, we're gonna have to give it to Jack the Drought. Because just stop and whatever your name is, pause the video. Just say your name and then the drought after it, and tell me that you don't sound like a badass. Especially if your name is simple. Because think about the connotation of a drought. Saying that you bring a drought, meaning you're so strong, your aura is just so overpowering that no matter where you go, a drought ensues. The whole place is destroyed, because you're so him/her/them. Now, I really do like the drought, but not as much as I like our number 5 spot, which is gonna have to go to Jack's superior and who he calls older brother, King's, which is King the Wildfire. And before I hear anything about it, get the conflagration out of my face. The Wildfire, it's literally everything that I like about Jack's, but heightened for two reasons. One, because the imagery of fire is even more potent as, being a rampaging force. And two, because I really like the tonal similarities in the eyes between wild and fire. Wildfire. Like, it's so appeasing to say. I think I used that word wrong. It's so pleasing to say. Now, on number 4, we're going to have one that probably a lot of people have as their number 1, and that's the Surgeon of Death, owned by fan favorite Trafalgar D. Law. I don't know if you can get much more cool than Surgeon of Death, because I don't think there's anyone who wouldn't want to be known as the Surgeon of Death, except, probably actual surgeons, but that's because, their job is saving people, not killing them. But everybody else, and in fact, that's no excuse, because the law be saving people. And I think part of what I like about it is just the juxtaposition where a surgeon, somebody that's supposed to save lives, is the one who's causing all the death, destroying lives. So that juxtaposition in my mind, I like it. I don't know what to say. And if I love the juxtaposition here, then I'm gonna love the juxtaposition with number 3, because at number 3 we have another one that's gonna probably be people's number 1s, probably what most people thought was gonna be number 1, and that's Don Quixote do Flamengo's Heavenly Demon. Like, Heavenly Demon is one where I feel like the other mangaka in the mangaka sphere around when Doflamingo was being first serialized were like, damn, I really wish I capitalized on a name like Heavenly Demon. Now everyone will only think of Doflamingo. I can't even use it in my series. Because being known as the Heavenly Demon it's especially for Doflamingo's character, is genius. Working on how even though he's a celestial dragon, the people who rule the world, and a lot of people's thoughts about the rulers of the world are supposed to be good, the people that know anything about the celestial dragons know that they're horrible human beings without morals, and Doflamingo is possibly, not a word, again, possibly the most evil of all of them, making him a literal demon. Now I have to mention that at this point, almost all of the original 7 warlords have had their epithets somewhere on this list, because literally 6 out of the 7 of them have banger titles. Oda really cooked with the 7 warlords, I can't lie. It's only Kuma that's holding them back. And I hate to say it because we love anime Jesus, but man, you are holding us back in this one department. What the heck is the Tyrant? Moving on to our silver medalist, we got King of the Beasts, Kaido. I already said that I like things with some sort of sovereign implication in it, and being a king and the king of the beasts at that, particularly when you think about how varied the term beast can be used for. There's so many different things that can be claimed as beasts, so many different people that are so animalistic, or maybe even their power can be viewed as beasts, but being the king of all of them, it also alluded obviously to not only the fact that his crew was the beast pirates, but the fact that he had a very beast type devil fruit, as did most of his, high ranking officers. But I'm just imagining it now, King of the Beast Carl, that's amazing. So amazing that it had to be number 2. But there's only one thing that could really beat out King of the Beast in my mind. And if you've been cluing together all the pieces from throughout this video, you know what it has to be. Because of course, number 1, and in my opinion, the best epithet in all of One Piece, has to be Goldie Roger's famous King of the Pirates. Now see, here's the thing. King of the Pirates is just iconic. It's the thing that Luffy says he always wants to be. It's what Roger was. It's what everybody's aspiring to be. It's what the entire One Piece story's foundation is built on. But even if you take that context out, just think about the words King of the Pirates. Pirates are some of the strongest, most ruthless, dangerous individuals to ever exist, and you are the king of all of them. Even if you put it back into the context of the One Piece world, the One Piece world is festered with pirates. Pirates from all kinds of walks of life who live all kinds of lives, all kinds of different powers, hockey, devil fruits, pure strength. And yet you are the one person who can say that they confidently sit at the pinnacle of what pirates can reach in this world. I don't think that there can factually be a greater epithet than King of the Pirates, and I am hard pressed to find somebody who can argue that against me. Now I've just given a long list of really good epithets, but I want to know, What do y'all think is the best epithet in One Piece, or what's your list? I want to compare them in the comments, so make sure you drop them there. Now that's the end of the video, y'all, but please, before we go, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this, and share it around with all your friends who love this series. Remember, I'm trying to build a community, but I need your help to do it. Well, that's going to be all from me. I'll catch you on the next one. And always remember, One Piece, one life. Y'all, I'm just trying to think about which name goes with my name the best. From the top 10, I don't know, Silver Fox Carl, I don't know, not really. Night of the Sea Carl, Soul King Carl. With the King, it goes well, I can't lie. Carl the Drought, Carl the Wildfire, Surgeon of Death Carl, I don't like that. Carl, King of the Beasts, I may have to go with that one, I can't lie. But y'all let me know which one is best for me.